Man, oh man, is it trouble in Tallahassee? Ooh, I tell you what, y'all, I did not expect this result right here. 28-13 home loss for the Seminoles, a preseason ACC favorite along with Miami and Clemson. Did not expect an 0-2 start. Let's break it down. All right, first off, let's go to Boston College's side. I really like how they simplified the game plan for Thomas Calistanos in this one. 10 for 16, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. He only passed the ball 16 times. Look how many times they ran the ball. All right, y'all still with me? They ran the ball 52 times. 52 times. Now that is getting it done. And look how spread out it is. Now, obviously, Thomas is the quarterback, but he's a dual threat, so he runs the ball as well. He had 14 carries in this game. The running back, Kai Robichaud, he had 19 carries for this one for 85 yards. And then Trayshawn Ward had 12 carries for 77 yards. Spreading it out between those three guys, running the ball. I seen the last run that pretty much ended the game. There's nothing they could do when Thomas flushed out of the pocket and there was nothing downfield. He was running and taking off, getting 10 plus 15 yards sometimes on some plays, running the ball. So that was key, man, and they dominated from the start. And you were shell-shocked, kind of like watching Florida State. All right, so here are some more key stats. In this game, they ran for 263 yards. Now, I'm going to break down Florida State as well, rushing only 21 yards, which is wild. But 263 yards this game they rushed for. And they also, you can't see here, but they dominated time of possession. 39 minutes to just 20-something minutes for Florida State. Another key stat in this one for Boston College. And like I said, quarterback played well. He rushed for over 70-plus yards. Everybody had to say so in helping this team win. But that was the key point as well. And then look at the third down efficiency, third down rate as well. 9 for 16, over 50%. Defense slowing down Florida State, 3 of 14 on third down. Just cannot get it going in this game. 369 total yards compared to just 293 of Florida State. That is getting it done, man. And they had a simple game plan, stuck to it, didn't turn over the football, and all night long was running that ball. Now, Florida State, another unfortunate is you're on the wrong side of history. Florida State just the third FBS team in the last 45 years to lose its first 2 games of the season as a double-digit favorite. Do not see this often, right? Especially like this one was your get-right game. You're at home, you're in front of the crowd, and it disappointed. And I'm going to be real. I don't think DJU is the answer. And there's no disrespect to him. This is like his last shot to make something of it, right? Like what stops at Clemson, playing there for 3 years, going to Oregon State, and now this, and the team's 0-2. It's not a good look. And fans are already clamoring for the next quarterback to come in. Now, looking at DJU stats, he was 21 of 42 for 272 yards. It's only 50%. And the bad part is 42 times with DJU passing the ball is not going to get it done. You need this number around about 20 to 25, with DJU. You got to depend on the running game. And that was the kind of thing when we watched the Georgia Tech game. They cannot throw the ball down the field, right? They were not taking those shot plays with Malik Benson, with Ja'Kai Douglas. They weren't doing it. They did it every once in a blue moon, probably 2 or 3 times in the game. Tonight, they definitely tried some of them. But the one that was the most egregious for DJU side, wide open in the back of the end zone was his receiver. He completely overthrows him. That would have been an easy touchdown. It changed the momentum of the game. It's 14-3 at that point. They connect on that touchdown and makes it 14-10. So that was pivotal in the game, especially when you're struggling offensively. You only put up 13 points. So the offense has to get it together. Defense is not absolved from this. We're going to talk about them in a second. But offense has to get it together. All right, another telltale sign is right below. Like I said, they threw the ball 42 times. Only ran it 16 times. Now, I understand it's hard to stick with the run when it ain't working, right? Only 21 yards on 16 carries in this one. But that was supposed to be the strength of this team going into this year. Lawrence Tuafile, Cam Davis, right? Rodell Williams, the Alabama transfer. These guys were supposed to come in and be able to run. So it's kind of hard to see them both only combined for 4 carries in this one. Now I understand, like I said, Boston College was stuffing the run. It's making it difficult. But those were supposed to be your guys to make it easier on DJU to hit Ja'Kai Douglas, Malik Benson. But that has not been the case. In the game against Georgia Tech, they only got about 9. There was under 100 yards. I think it was about 95, 96. So that's been another kind of disappointing factor as well. Running game has not been what a lot of people expected it to be. Now, looking at the team stats one more time. Defensively, like I said, you cannot give up 263 yards. This defense is led by Patrick Payton. They had a lot of guys coming back. Fowler. This was supposed to be the unit that they hung their hat on. Again, coming into the year, you're thinking Florida State, run the football, depend on that defense, and then let DJU take those shock plays down the field and play action. It's not been the case. And one night it was kind of one-sided, like overly passing compared to running, which we just talked about. But defensively, this unit was supposed to be way better. No way they should be giving up 369 yards to Boston College. This is just supposed to give you stops, right? Force turnovers. And through the first few weeks, some of those main guys on defense have been kind of non-existent. Now, Cam Riley's been good. Other players have stepped up. But overall, this has not been a strength of this team, of this unit. So that has also kind of failed them as well. If that was better, I think they would have a better start. So those are some of the reasons why they're 0-2. You just can't have that. And they have to be a more disciplined team. Look at the penalties. 1 for 15 yards compared to 7 for 50, right? And, sometimes it is a reflection of the coach. Now, I'm not saying Mike Norvell is a bad coach because I don't think that. I know some are clamoring for his job. Man, it's early. But this is not the ideal start you want to have, especially after last year, what you went through, 12-0. You're mad. You sue the ACC, and then you kind of start the season 0-2. You don't make the college football playoff, and now you have this kind of a start. Not a good look, man. But there is a little bit of a bright side. Now, Louis Riddick, obviously national analyst, calls the games for them, says this FSU football team could totally go off the rails, has serious soul-searching to do. So, like he said in his rhetoric when he was talking to Scott Van Pelt, the leaders of this team is going to have to look themselves in the eye and hold everybody accountable, right? The guys that you make the captain of this team, they're going to have to take a deep look at themselves and hold everybody else accountable. You have some young pieces in certain spots. You do have guys trying to mesh together. This is, a lot of transfers coming in. So this is also that other point. Everybody gets on Dabo about transfer portal. Florida State also had a lot of transfers come in. So that camaraderie and cohesion, guys, that stuff matters. Like, it doesn't get talked about enough, but that stuff matters, and I think that's why you're seeing kind of this as well. A lot of moving parts, new pieces in there that have never played together. And that, again, that is no excuse because you should be ready. But I'm saying that's also the flip side of the transfer portal. Now, the bright side is you have a whole week to rest your body up, get right, and get prepared for Memphis. Now, a lot of people are giving them L's against them because they're a good Group 5 team. But you get to go in a bye week, reassess everything, and you might have to make some changes. When you want to see change in season, mid-season, some people don't talk about it enough, but teams start 0-2, sometimes even 0-3, and they get it together, right? We've seen that with Buffalo last year. Like, they didn't start 0-2 or 0-3, but they struggled early on and had a couple losses and got it together, ended up making the AFC divisional round. Like, we see that all the time in football. So I'm not going to quite count them out just yet. Does it look ugly? Yes. But I think with the right leadership from their captains, they could have a potential chance to turn the season around. No, I'm not saying they're going to make college football playoff. No, I'm not saying they're going to win the ACC, but you could also turn your season around. Going 0-2 is not the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? You just have to look yourself deep in the mirror. You got to figure some things out. Offensively, you got to have more balance, I think, 1. 2, more creativity, and you might have to seriously consider, okay, what do I have besides DJU at quarterback position? We had some high-end recruits coming in. We had some, transfers. What do I have at that position that I might take another look at? Also, get a pulse of the team. That's also very key when you look at this. Because if the team is responding well to one set quarterback, maybe then over another, you might have to consider that. I'm just saying, it's still early. I'm not saying DJU shouldn't have a job, shouldn't be the starter. But when you go into this evaluation period and you're 0-2, you have to consider everything, every alternative. And you have to look yourself deep, in the mirror and be like, what can I do to help this football team win? So they got some serious, problems to solve. But, 0-2 is not what I expected of this Florida State team. But let's see how they respond. I'm not going to write them off. Let's see how they respond after that. But an 0-2 is not what I expected. Last but not least, man, shout out to Boston College, though, for coming out with the dub and going on the road and being in the top 10 team. I know they probably won't be ranked after this, FSU, but shout out to them, man, for being able to do that. And I love it, man. I love competitive football. I love upsets. I love the ACC kind of reigning supreme. Not that it's my favorite conference or anything, but I love the SEC. I love the ACC, Big 10, Big 12. But it's always good seeing upsets and other teams come up and surprise people. But that's my thoughts, man. Comment below. Is Florida State season done? Let me hear your thoughts.